In the morning she came in and woke me up and asked me if I was wet. I was sitting there thinking I am potty trained. I don't wet the bed. It was then I realized I actually was wet. I had the pacifier in my mouth, so I didn't want to talk. I just let her change my wet diaper and bring me back downstairs for breakfast, and this time I was ready for the food and prepared for the taste. After breakfast, and before my mom was able to get the pacifier back into my mouth, I asked her how she knew I was going to have a wet diaper when I woke up. She just gave me the typical mommy answer: I'm psychic. So I was brought upstairs, put into a new dress, diaper cover, booties, mittens, and bonnet. Mom took me downstairs and put into the high chair again. It was there, and then she told me the rules. She told me since I was a baby girl, Matthew wouldn't work, so she would now call me Kathleen or Katie for short. The second thing was, since I was a baby, babies don't speak. So if I wanted anything I had to cry for it. If I cried though, I would only get a few things. The first thing was I would be checked for a diaper change. The second thing was I would be fed. The third thing would be a rattle or some toys, and the fourth thing was a bottle and a nap. If I still continued to cry for anything else, then I would be smacked on the back of the legs out of the way of the dress or diapers. She also told me these rules applied to anywhere we went. As well as this, anyone that was watching me would be told my rules. She also told me if I wanted to get her attention, I could say mommy, or for my dad, daddy. It was no longer just mom and dad. She then told me that since she had work today, she wouldn't be able to watch me and take care of me. Because of this, she would be bringing me to a daycare center every day during the week. Mom then let me up from the high chair and unlocked the baby harness from it, put it on me, took me to the car, where in the back seat my dad had fashioned a makeshift baby seat, where basically he just took a regular baby seat and made it big enough for me. So I was put in, locked in, and driven to a very small daycare center. When we got to the daycare center, I tried to release myself from the seat but found out that the release button is very hard to push and is located in the back of the seat, far out of reach of even my long arms. I was let out of the car and brought in to meet my new caretakers. We met and I was sent to play with the little babies, which I found out wasn't too bad. The babies enjoyed my company, which made it pleasant for me, and they didn't have any drama in their lives to deal with or tell me about. Most of them couldn't even say mommy and daddy. I was also fed, so I didn't have to feed myself anymore, and I got to sit there and pee and poop myself and have someone change me. It was actually pretty awesome, and I thoroughly enjoyed and still do to this day. When it was school time again, my parents gave me two options. First, I would go to a different school where they would put me in the special ED program and change me, but other than that, treat me normally. Or option two, I could continue going to the daycare and be homeschooled and get my GED after I got picked up. I chose option 2, which turned out to be the best decision of my entire life. About 3 weeks after everyone, including all my friends, went back to school, I had a few friends were trustworthy and knew my predicament and would come over and we would watch movies and stuff. I was still going to the daycare. Well, this day I was awoken to be looking face to face with the girl I had had a crush on for 4.5 years. She looked at me mouth wide open, and I looked back at her with my mouth open and still holding the bottle that put me to sleep. After we both recovered from the shock, she told me that she needed some cash for college next year, and I told her how I ended up there, and she, I guess, liked it. Well, one day when my parents came to pick me up, she brought me out to them and put me in the car and talked with them and told them that if they ever needed a babysitter for the weekends, they never went out on the weekends, then she would watch me and she wasn't expensive. So they got her phone number, and that weekend they gave her a call and asked her to come over. When she came over, we didn't do a whole lot, kind of hard to do things in diapers and dresses, so we just sat on the couch together and watched movies. We both liked each other, so we kind of made it a date. After a few weeks of this, she decided to talk to my parents and tell them that we wanted to become a couple and start dating. Well, the problem with this was I found out my mom had been giving me muscle relaxants in all of my bottles, and that was why I was wetting my diapers at night and even during the day. Now, I didn't even notice when I wet So my mom told her that they would potty train me and we would talk then, but I would still have to stay in diapers and dresses as long as I was living in the house, but for a while I would wear adult training pants. After another 4 to 5 weeks I was re-potty trained, then put back into diapers, but now they weren't required, I just had to use them since when at home I wasn't allowed to use the potty. Well, then my girlfriend, Ashley, got to thinking, well, we can't go out if I'm dressed in diapers and dresses, so she talked to my mommy and they said that weekend they would take me shopping for new clothes. Saturday came and they took me to the mall. I was still in baby clothes and a diaper, and we went to a girl's shop. I didn't have the pacifier in this day, so I was able to talk and asked my mommy why we were going to a girl's shop, and she told me that I had gone so long as a baby girl, why stop now. She also told me that I would like the clothes and that it wouldn't matter with me and Ashley because, well, we're both already bi anyways, so it didn't matter. So my mommy took off my dress and diapers while Ashley picked out some outfits and brought them back to me to try on. After each outfit was on, usually with size and help from my mommy, I was taken out of the dressing room and told to model for them and they would decide if they liked it. They liked the majority of it and ended up by a whole wardrobe for me, which included some shorts, low-rider pants, mini-skirts, and a couple of long ankle-length skirts and quite a few shirts, most of which had some saying like Daddy's little girl or princess. Then we realized that A, I didn't have any panties and bras, and B, yeah, I was skinny, I always had been, but I didn't have the curves of a woman. So we went to another shop in the mall to buy bras and panties, then we left. We made one more stop that day and it was at a corsetier where they bought a heavily boned corset to give me the shape of a woman. The lady said that if I lived in it day and night for the next 3 weeks I'll have better curves than either of the 2 ladies I was with. So it was immediately put on me and was only taken off for my baths. 3 weeks rolled around, I had beautiful curves, and Ashley was planning on going to the movies this weekend with some friends and wanted to know if I was going to come with her. I said yes, of course, and my mom agreed. So that weekend rolled around, Ashley came over, dressed me up. I was still a baby, so I wasn't allowed to dress or change myself, did my makeup and hair, and we left. On the way out though, my mom told me and Ashley to make sure that I asked to go to the restroom like a good little girl or it would mean spanking for me when I got home. So we went out, and since her friends knew she was bi, she introduced me as Katie and told them that I was her new girlfriend. So we went out to the movies, then miniature golfing, and I guess I looked enough like a girl to fool even girls. After that she brought me Hope, put me into my pajamas, gave me my bottle, my hands weren't strapped down, and to this day I oddly pleasure myself, and a kiss, and went home. It was this way for the next few years. I got my GED long before she even graduated and now take online classes in computer programming from the home. Ashley has graduated college with a major in math and is teaching it at the local school. We have been happily married for 2.5 years. I am still diapered in the house and dressed in drag when we go out on dates. I am also still brought to the daycare during the day and am allowed to help take care of some of the babies, but am still given my nap, changed when needed, and fed when hungry. When Ashley gets home we have dinner. She feeds me while she makes her own dinner, then we watch TV together.